from all parts of the world to explore this island's history and heritage. I think we all enjoy a sense of pride when we hear how much they learn and indeed how much they enjoy their visit. The focus of heritage on historical monuments and sites has been superseded by a broader and more flexible concept of heritage, now including the space around us, to include the environment and people surrounding us. And I am sure that we have all admired the historic landscapes that surround us. I think what people have to understand is that up until the 26th of March this year, neither Jerry Adams or I ever had a single conversation with Ian Paisley or with Peter Robinson. Not even about the weather, not even an hello. So now we've effectively been in government for something like 6 months, and I think the public would be of a view that the way in which Ian Paisley and myself and others have managed this process is very pleasing to them, because this is what they voted for in the Assembly elections. I am comforted by the fact that I'm working with a First Minister, Ian Paisley, representing, the leader of Unionism, who I believe is as committed and dedicated to making this work as I am. So we are in a completely different place. Where we were in the 80s is, I suppose, almost totally foreign to where we are now. Our primary political objective is to see the reunification of Ireland, but to see if we can achieve that by peaceful and democratic means. And of course the peace process has now opened up all sorts of possibilities. There's no going back to the past, although the past is obviously important and we can't forget the past, and the whole issue of history and heritage is of considerable importance to us on this island. It's really how we move forward in a way in which everyone can claim ownership, and I hope that the political environment that we have created is conducive to people like yourselves who are interested in heritage and history to use that for the benefit of everyone in the exciting times which lie before us. Thank you. How are you all? Working hard?
Yeah, staying on it.
Sorry.
Nice to
see you.
Yeah, thanks so much, sir.
Nice to see you.
It's so nice to see you too. Thank you.
There we are. There we go. Have you a car then?
No.
Come with us. Right. Are you okay, John?
Yes.
Oh, wait, wait, take this down.
What's it?
The only thing I like about the end of the winter, and that is that it's coming round to the band season again. And then the Protestant feet start marching right through to August.
Well, I think it's another hammer blow for Limavady, coming on the back of 1,000 jobs in Seagate, which are going to go next summer. We've now another 70 jobs coming from the Hugo announcement.
The sectarian approach that so characterised the past 35 years will become increasingly irrelevant. It will become looked upon as a subject matter for the 1970s and 1980s and 90s, but not a subject matter for 2025. That it will just be seen as something that occurred then, but isn't relevant to a future date.
Now they need to get themselves into gear. They need to treat the Limavady area as an action area in terms of economic regeneration, and they need to do that now, not next year.
My ambition and my hopes in my lifetime would be that we would begin to see the fruits of a stable Northern Ireland. I think Northern Ireland hasn't had the opportunity, even in the distant past, to get 20 or 30 years of stability, of peace and of progress.
I can tell that you're from Belfast.
I met just you before.
That's right, that's right.
You know,
Where were you from in West Belfast?
Turf Lodge.
Turf Lodge?
Yeah, Turf Lodge. And, I would like to thank you on behalf of my family, you know, for the help that you've given us there in September. Because remember, we had a family coming home from Asian Ireland, our family, and moving, get them home safe.
I know that Muslims have been part of our society for many years. And of course we in government, we want to see a society where majority and minority ethnic communities can work together. We must acknowledge and tackle all forms of division and prejudice, whatever their basis. In our society, in any society, there are of course a tiny minority who feel threatened by difference. And I know that members of the Muslim community have suffered discrimination, prejudice, verbal abuse, and even physical attacks. And these I wholeheartedly condemn. I am excited about where we are now. I think it's, you know, where we are now is a far better place than where we were 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And where we'll be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, will be a far better place than where we're at the moment, if we continue along this course. I actually think that it's a great source of comfort to know that there are people who believe as passionately in their religious beliefs as I believe in mine. And I think that all of us, quite comfortably, can coexist, work together, and build a better future for everybody that we represent. So thanks for having me. It's been a real delight.
When I meet Martin McGuinness, I see someone who was responsible for a lot of the activities that his movement engaged in, and I see someone who has obviously decided to move on from that, and that's his decision. I wish he had made it 30 years ago, and I still feel a deep well of resentment against him for all that he and his ilk carried out.
Mr. Campbell, MP for East Clonferry, MP, you're very welcome.
Gregory, in my opinion, is finding all of this very, very difficult. And I think that he has shown, even since the establishment of the institutions on May the 8th, great bitterness about the process and great hostility towards the process. And I think that's sad, because he's one of the few Unionist leaders now who still refuses to speak to me. He has actually built up this persona over the years that he takes pride in the fact that he doesn't talk to Sinn Féin. And I think in many ways he's living in the past and he's missing the boat.
Well, I think we can let go, but as long as in describing letting go, that we don't say we must forget all that happened, that we won't forget who carried out all of the activities that they did carry out, but that they are in the past, and that they're now that they are over, we must make a better future than we had a past, that our children and our grandchildren have got to see a much better and brighter dawn than we had.
How life turned out for some aspiring priests next week on BBC4, as What Happened Next catches up with the fathers-to-be, Tuesday at 9. Next tonight, for better or for worse, in the biggest Chinese restaurant in the world.